Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. We're here at Mobile World Congress 2015 in Barcelona in Spain, and I'm with Saar Gillai, the Senior Vice President, General Manager of the NFV Business Unit, Global Leader Telco, HP. Saar, we meet again. Good to see you.
Here again.
Let's talk about the development of NFV over the past year or so. We know it came from a gleam in some mad scientist's eyes, leapt fully formed onto the world stage in the limelight, more or less, in its diapers, and suddenly it's grown up. What do you make of the amazingly rapid development of this technology, and what HP has been involved in, the investments you've made in it since OpenNFV last year?
Sure. Well, I think it's the speed of it has surprised all of us, really. It's always good to be in a situation where the customers are pulling you, and NFV, we have this tremendous pull. And while we all wanted to believe it and we saw it, it's going much faster. It's really going at a tremendous amount of speed. So in terms of what HP's done, when we launched this program, we really talked about 4 key components. One of them was the reference architecture and products. And we've rolled out a reference architecture. We've made a lot of progress on products. We talked about having carrier-grade helium. We've done the partnership with Wind River. And now we've started delivering on that. We already have the Wind River integrated with Helion in the labs, and it's going to come out shortly. We talked about a reference architecture, so we've built our partner ecosystem, and we have partners as part of this architecture. Another component of the stool was also the partner ecosystem. We've signed up over 140 ISVs that are now going through validation and characterization. Characterization being really important because there are a lot of folks who say, hey, this is never going to have the right performance, so that's really important.
Yeah.
We have 9 core technology partners, some really important folks there who are also supporting us and working with us. Another part of the program is our POCs. It's important with the telcos, obviously, to go through a lot of POCs. They want to see it, they want to feel, they want to understand it before they deploy it. Right now we have about 25 POCs running. They've all been very successful. While not every POC results in the exact deployment of the POC use case, I can tell you that every POC we've done this year has resulted in business. And so that's really been cool. And then we've also talked about labs and deploying labs, because really one of the most important piece of NFV is getting this whole innovation subsystem going. And the reason we put out the labs is we want to have smaller companies have the opportunity to innovate in this ecosystem, and that's what people bring. And so we now have labs deployed across many places around the world. We have one in Grenoble, we have one in Israel, we have one in Houston, and we're already rolling through different partners through those labs. So we've done a lot of execution, and really a lot of the things we talked about are now happening, coming to fruition.
One of the main themes behind NFV has been the fact that it has been largely carrier driven, and they don't want the old locked-in syndrome that they were in the 80s and 90s into the 2000s. And there's been a lot of talk about open source, open standards, openness in general. You have OpenNFV. Can you tell us about what's been happening on the standards front as well?
Sure. Well, I think the key thing about open is that you got to walk the talk. And a lot of people talk about open, it's 4 letters, you can put it up and it sounds good. A few PowerPoints and they're good to go. I think the carriers are really, they're smart. The beauty of open source is you can verify what people are doing. You can check, you can go to GitHub and see who is contributing, who is doing things. And so it's very important for them because for 2 reasons. A, they don't want to be locked in, but also they want to benefit. They've noticed in the enterprise where open has happened, there's been a much better efficiencies. It's been a much faster innovation, a lot more interesting. And so, we obviously at HP made a choice to go open, and our cloud platform was OpenStack. A few years ago, we've invested a lot. I was actually part of the group that formed that and led that effort. And we're one of the top contributors in OpenStack. We have the most PTLs. So that really gives comfort to the carriers to see that we're really pushing that direction. And it's not only open source, it's also about APIs. It's how do I use it, how do I access it? It's all about having a composable system. And we've made some progress. OpenNFV is moving along as well. But in the end of the day, what's going to drive this is real deployments with these solutions, because that gives people the comfort that it's actually moving and getting there.
Sure.
And that's moving along really well.
Could I ask you about, you mentioned your open reference architecture. You've just done this really game-changing big deal with Telefonica. Do you think the fact that you have this open reference architecture contributed greatly to that for their Unica project?
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about, first of all, I mean, this is a game-changing deal. But it's a complete validation for two things. A, the whole NFV concept in the industry, not specifically the HSP, I mean, it's an ecosystem, but also to our Open NFV program. It's a validation of everything we said last year is coming to fruition. You have Telefonica, one of the largest telcos in the world, saying, we're going all in and we're going with HSP. So this is a tremendous achievement. And you say, okay, well, why did they end up choosing to go with HSP?
Sure. Yeah.
Openness and flexibility and innovation, very important. Enrico Blanco talked about this, and he means it. He's been around the block, he understands, he's been through things. It's really, really important for them. And again, you got to walk the talk, and HSP walks the talk in those areas. They've looked in, they've seen who actually does stuff. Telefonica also wants a situation, they want to have someone who's driving innovation and someone who is not going to lock them in. And it's not only that they're open, they work with everyone else. So the ecosystem is extremely important. And again, having a real ecosystem with real partners, not just PowerPoints, real labs, real deployments, walking the talk. And then finally, I think, from a Telefonica perspective, they want someone who understands IT and telco and can do the bridge. A lot of what's happening in FV is the bridge. It's bridging between IT and telco, it's bridging between older telco and new telco, and HSP is uniquely positioned there because we obviously have credibility in IT, we have the credibility in cloud with our OpenStack, and we have tremendous credibility with our CMS portfolio across both services and products, running some of the highest reliability services, HSSs in the world across some of the key telcos. And so that really gave them comfort. They see the innovation, the openness, but they also see someone who understands their language. And I think those are the key contributors to us doing this deal. And I think this is just the beginning. So it's tremendously gratifying to be able to partner with Telefonica and Enrique on this journey with them.
Saar Gillai, thank you very much.
Thank you as always.